investments of time that you would have ever made. These days, are very volatile. There is so much of uncertainty. The stock markets go up, stock markets go down, schools open, schools close, and offices are opening, offices are closing. So it's created so much of confusion in the minds of people. Children are feeling trapped at home, not able to go anywhere. Poor kids for last 2 years, whether they are in school or engineering college, medical college, they have to study from home. I was speaking to one of the HR heads, and he was saying that, Ashish, my team is confused. Sometimes we call them to office, sometimes we ask them to stay at home, sometimes we say you have to work in a hybrid model. So it's confusion all around. I was speaking to a business head, and he was sharing that, Ashish, we make strategies, and by the time we go and implement it, something on the ground has changed, so that strategy has become useless. Earlier, people were losing their jobs. Now I was speaking to an IT head in USA, and he was saying that I get 5 calls in a week offering me new jobs. So the situation is, changing at a very fast pace. In case you think, that we are living in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, please type VUCA in the chat box. If you think that, yes, indeed, we are living in a complex, ambiguous world, please type VUCA in the chat box. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, Sunil. Is there anyone else who thinks we are living in a VUCA world? And how is it? Thank you, Deepak. And this is making people frustrated, angry, irritated, and there's so many negative emotions, anxiety, depression. People are feeling exhausted, nothing to do. But it is not that we don't have a solution to this situation. If you look at this picture, what comes to your mind? You can unmute yourself and speak, or you can type in the chat. What comes to your mind when you see this costly? Okay, Nikhil. What else comes to your mind when you look at this?
Very piece of charcoal going under a lot of pressure.
Very nice. Transformation under pressure is precious. It's precious. Very nice. What else comes to your mind? Sorry.
A lot of polishing, grinding happens.
A lot of grinding happens, a lot of polishing happens. Yes. See, this is one of the most precious stones we have got. And one of the reasons that this is very precious is because of the clarity that a diamond has, and also because it stood the test of time. It's gone through that transformation. And that is the wisdom that is available to us for over 5,000 years, which can help us cut through darkness and give us clarity in any situation that we are facing in life, whether it is in our personal life or professional life. Bhagavad Gita is that treasure, that diamond, that gem which we have got with us. And the person who is going to be sharing, throwing light on this wonderful treasure is Mr. Rakesh Sharma. Rakesh ji is, an ex-colleague and a dear friend who has got more than 37 years of experience in the corporate world, working in senior positions in HR, quality, and engineering sectors. He has worked with organizations like Xerox, Airtel, Tata Group, and for last 10 years, he started on his own, helping many corporate professionals and business owners grow their business and also lead happy and fulfilling lives. So we are very honored to have you, Rakesh ji, with us today. He has a very busy schedule, but he has taken out time to be with us today, and we really appreciate it. And he is one person who practices what he preaches. So that makes this session very, very valuable. He has read more than 12 books on 12 different commentaries on Bhagavad Gita and is in the process of writing his own book now. So very happy to have you, sir. Welcome. And I'll take a minute to introduce myself, as some of you are joining us for the first time. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018 with a mission to help 1 million working professionals lead healthier, happier, and wealthier lives. Prior to starting working mindful living, I worked in the corporate sector for over 25 years in senior management roles with organizations like Xerox, Tata AIG, Future Generali, HCL Group, Daba Group, and then started in 2018 mindful living. I saw during my years of working in the corporate sector how stressed people are, and I realized, that there is a different way to lead life. We can be productive and be joyful at the same time. Most of the times people think that, we need to be stressed to be productive, but there are alternative ways in which we can reach peak performance. And that is the message we have been taking to the corporates. In the last 3 years, we have conducted over 250 sessions for employees in more than 50 companies, which include leading names like Aditya Birla Group, Tata Group, Microsoft, IBM, Schneider, Signify, Kotak Life, HDFC Life, and many others. The session today, friends, is not a podcast, so I will urge you to keep your cameras on. And also, it's not an entertainment show that you can lean back and enjoy. So please keep your cameras on, be actively engaged in the session today. And on that note, I would like to invite Rakesh ji to please take over.
Thank you very much, Ashish ji. And thank you very much, all of you. You have found time to join this program. It's very interesting to note today that today is 26th of January, and this day is linked with the Constitution of India, and Gita is also the Constitution. The only difference is that it is the Constitution of the life, and it talks about everything about life. We are going to have some glimpses today. So you are welcome once again. Let me just share my presentation to you. So hope you can see the PPT.
Yes, yes.
So Bhagavad Gita has been there for more than 5,000 years. And it's been going on and going on. Bhagavad Gita has been contemporary always, and it is going to be relevant even in times to come. The importance of Bhagavad Gita, we are actually going to talk in very short today, and we are going to talk mainly about that how you can draw the lessons of life from Bhagavad Gita. But before we get into that, let me just do the Guru Vanna, because it is only because of the Guru who whatever little knowledge I have been able to gain. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Isthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaya Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padkamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sanjeevam Sadvatvam Savdhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitansha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Friends, Bhagavad Gita basically is the manual of life. Very astonishingly, Bhagavad Gita has been narrated in the field of battle at Kurukshetra. And it talks about not only that Arjun should actually fight this war because he is getting a bit confused. Krishna also talks about so many other things. He talks about Gyan, the knowledge, the eternal knowledge. He talks about Dhyan. He also talks about Bhakti. He talks about lots of things. Whatever matters in life, he talks about. Therefore, it is known that Gita was not actually relevant only at that time. Rather, it is relevant even today when we are fighting the battle of life on day-to-day basis. It is not only real, but also it is symbolic, telling us that as Arjun was fighting the battle, he was fighting the real battle, but we are also fighting the real battle on day-to-day basis, and we are fighting the battle of life. As he could get enough knowledge, and he was able to decide that he should definitely go in the battle with open heart, of course, without any expectation. Similarly, Gita tells us that we should also fight our battle on day-to-day basis, but with much expectation, thinking that we are only a machine, and we'll more talk about it. So actually, it becomes the manual of life. And if we follow the teachings of Lord Krishna, then you will find that you will get the answer to almost all problems of your life, and you will be able to implement it. Many people think that it is a religious book. No, not at all. It is actually not the religious book. It is definitely talks about bhakti, but it talks about almost everything. It talks about even science. It talks about even niti. It talks about even how the life has come over here. What is the soul? What is the self? It talks about lots of things. And you will find that you get the answer to everything. So let's have some idea about it. We will not be able to do justice within such a short time, but we'll definitely try and talk about it. The first very important question here is that lots of people talk about leadership. The topic today is that what can we learn about leadership from Gita? And leadership is something which is very common topic, which is spoken by lots of contemporary, lots of modern motivational speakers. Then why should we actually look at Gita? So there is not one. Actually, when I started working on it, I found multiple reasons that how Gita is distinctly different than what modern motivational speakers are talking about. First is Gita comes from the mouth of the incarnation of God, Lord Krishna, the most authentic knowledge. And absolutely, there is no doubt about it. And it was delivered almost 5,000 years ago. It was relevant at that time. And Krishna is actually the most accepted motivational guru, the original guru. And his philosophies are being followed by the motivational gurus of even today, the psychologists of even today. You must have heard of these names: Stephen Covey, Werner Erhard, Van Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Vivek Bindra, Sandeep Maheshwari, and so many others. They all refer Gita time and again. They talk about Gita time and again. And they have actually developed their philosophy from Gita only. So why should we not go back to Gita and learn directly from the scripture? Gita has been delivered in most relevant situation, the battlefield. The everyday life is also the battlefield for a normal human being. The modern psychologist, the Carl Jung, the Sigmund Freud, and so many others have taken clues from Gita. Then modern psychologists are still struggling with lots of questions of life, which have already been answered by Gita. Modern philosophy deals with man as a matter, okay? But it ignores the subtle dimension of life. Whereas Gita talks very in detail, very much in detail about both the aspects, the matter aspect of the life, the bodily aspect of the life, as well as the subtle aspect of life. It talks very much in detail. Modern motivational guru suggests that only one way to succeed, which is based on the action, as if like you are taking the full control. But Gita is holistic. It talks about the multi-dimensions approach to get success in life. Arjun is standing on the crossroad, not able to take decision. And we too are always stuck on a crossroad. And we find ourselves that we are also not able to take decisions. So it becomes extremely, extremely relevant. And Arjun has to fight his own relatives and own weaknesses. And this is the most difficult thing to do, to fight with the own self, most difficult thing to do. And we are also fighting our weaknesses on daily basis. So what can be a better philosophy of success or to lead our life than Gita? So Gita is extremely, extremely recommended. People like Albert Einstein and so many other people who have been famous in their field, the poets, the scientists, the philosophers, and the artists, and so many others actually have talked about Gita, referred Gita again and again. I'm trying to bring him over here so that we actually understand the importance of it. There are so many people, surprisingly, almost every household in India would have Gita, but there are very few people who have read Gita. And there are very few people who have actually understood Gita. And there are very few people who have been able to implement a part of it. Once upon a time, I was actually reading some sage, and he was talking very honestly about him, that he has done so much of work on Gita, but he has not been able to implement. And which is actually true, that implementation is difficult. But that does not mean that implementation is impossible. Not at all. It is only that first we have to be aware what Gita is saying. And if we are able to be aware of what Gita is talking and what Gita is saying, and when we actually see from the perspective of Krishna and from the perspective of Arjun, you will find that it is extremely practical and we'll be able to actually implement in our life. You must have come through lots of business challenge, business leader. Before we get into it, I'm sure many of you would be the business owners here or sitting at a very senior position in the corporate world. If you are anyone who is coming from the business directly or from the corporate world, simply please type I quickly. Then we'll move forward. Just type I. If you are coming from the business world, you are a business owner yourself, or you are coming from the corporate world, having some corporate position. Please quickly type I. Great, many of you. Many of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it makes the things very relevant, actually. You will find that when we are at a senior position and we are responsible for delivering the result, we find such problem coming across to us very, very frequently. We are not able to achieve our targets. There are followers, there are team members who don't accept us as the leaders. We find employees who are disengaged. There is lack of accountability. There is a team, but the team members are pulling the legs of each other. We want to have leaders in our team. We want to develop the leaders in our team, but there is no leadership pipeline. We don't have any time. We are burning out of the time on daily basis, not able to get any vacation. We bring our work back home. The work doesn't stop. Not able to recruit talent. Quality meeting, quality of meeting is suffering. We are spending lots of time, but we hardly get any decisions, or if we make decisions, we don't get the action plan. If we get the action plan, we don't implement it. We find very difficult to communicate, the link with the people, connect with the people. And we are not able to create the productive culture of the company. Managing diversity is also a big problem. So there are lots of such problems. Some of you who think that are facing some of these problems, so do you also face some of these challenges? If you face the challenges, just type FC. Quickly, just type FC. You face these challenges, just type FC on the chat, please. Great. So this makes the program very relevant to all of you. I'm sure all of you face these problems. Let's move forward. So we are actually not talking subjectively, rather there has been a research around it. The research says that number one cause of the business failure is the team failure, which actually is the result of the leadership failure. Then 90% of the business failures are due to the poor leadership, due to the poor team management, poor decision making. Also, bad news is that 80% of the new businesses fail within the first 5 years. And the Gallup survey says that shockingly 82% of the managers aren't good at leading the people. So this is what the research says. So what you are facing is very authentic and very real. And the good news is that Gita has answers to all these problems. The only thing is that we need to have patience and we need to go through the text and understand that text. Today, we are actually going to discuss some of such problems. We cannot, of course, discuss all the issues today. We are going to discuss some important 2, 3, 4 of them as the time permits. So I'm just bringing in front of you a few problems. Unable to recognize future changes. Unable to recognize the future changes. Lots of business owners, lots of corporate leaders are the future blind. Okay. And they face the consequences of it. Lack of clarity on the vision of the business. They are not sure what is this business about, what product they are serving, and why are they serving that product. Ongoing stress. They are unable to create result, and they are extremely result focused. And there is a great stress they are going through because of this reason. Not able to direct their teams. They don't follow, they just don't listen. So these are the various problems the business leaders are facing, we are all facing, okay, time and again. So let us look at some of these problems. From the leader's perspective, a leader's role is that a big responsibility towards building the accountable, performing, joyful work environment so that they can lead the team members to the achievement of the organizational objective. So organizational objectives have to be achieved, no doubt about it, but it has to be done in a very refined manner with the accountable team, performing team, joyful environment, etc., lots of things, so that the employees are finding a great place to work. Therefore, let us talk about that, what can be done and where are we stuck. So first problem we were talking about is that they are future blind. Why? Because lots of our leaders, lots of the senior corporate members, they are self-obsessed. Their experience, their past experience is behind them. The past experience is covering their all knowledge and their all perspective, futuristic perspective. They think that they know all. As a result, they don't listen. And I have seen people, they talk and talk and talk. They keep talking. They just don't listen. They think that they know everything. As a result, what happens that they stop getting knowledge which may come from the environment. And over a period of time, they stop seeing even in future. So Gita gives us a very, very important lesson here. The lesson is directly coming from the first chapter itself. In the first chapter, you will find that Dhritarashtra speaks the first shloka. And after that, for continuously 45 minutes, which is the total time, as it is said about Gita was spoken for, he keeps quiet and he's just listening patiently. He's just listening patiently. Another thing which happens is that Krishna listens for the one full chapter and then only he starts speaking. So first he listens. What is going on in the mind of Arjun? What is he thinking? What he is speaking and why is he speaking? What is bothering him? So it is very, very important to actually grasp this lesson of listening. Most of the time we don't listen. And when we actually listen, we listen in a very different manner, so that we are actually keeping ourselves ready for the answer. But Gita tells us that we have to be attentive, as Stephen Covey also is saying after learning from Gita, that we need seek to understand first, then to be understood. Seek to understand first, then to be understood. Be attentive, drop judgment, drop your preconceived notions. Don't prepare for answers. That's the mistake we do most of the time. Rather than listening, we are actually preparing for answers. And as a result, we don't understand him. We become judgmental. So that's it. That is the big lesson here. Now the question here is, do you know some senior people within your work environment who don't also listen? Do you know some of the people like this who will just speak, talk? If you know some of these people, just type yes on the chat. On the chat, just type yes. Yes. So lots of people have experienced it. Great. Taruna, thank you. Okay, so let us understand a little more about it. Listening is actually very difficult. There was a sage in the name of Benkai. One day, a great philosopher came to him, and Benkai knew about it that this guy is a great philosopher and he has come to learn something. The philosopher said, Guruji, I want to learn something from you. I have already written more than 20 books on the philosophy of life, but I still feel that there is something which I need to learn. So he said, fine, let me offer you a cup of tea. And he offers this cup of tea to him. And he starts pouring the tea inside the cup, and the cup finally gets filled up and the tea starts flowing. This philosopher says, sir, please stop. The tea is overflowing. But Benkai doesn't listen. And the tea is still overflowing. And finally, this philosopher holds his hand and says, sir, stop. Now the tea is going to outflow even from the plate. He said, I will stop, but you also need to stop because you are already over full. You are already overfilled and you will not be able to acquire any more knowledge. This philosopher said, sir, no, how do you say so? I understand what you are trying to say, but I don't think so. So Benkai gives him a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and tells him, okay, fine, we'll meet tomorrow. On one side of the paper, you simply write all those things which you know, the 20 books which you are talking about. And on the other side, you write down all those things which you don't know. All those things which you know, we will not talk about, we will not spend our time. Whereas all those remaining things which you don't know, we'll spend the time on that only. So come tomorrow, we'll meet you tomorrow. So next day, this philosopher again goes to him. And he was carrying a blank piece of paper. Both the sides, he was not able to write anything. Then I asked him that you have already written these many books. So why have you not written anything? You already know lots of things. This is what you said. He said, sir, when I started writing, I reflected upon and I found that I was only having the knowledge of the words. I didn't implement all that knowledge in my life. And therefore, that is the reason why I'm feeling completely blank. So, friends, that's what actually happens with most of us. We may have lots of knowledge. As a result of that, we are overwhelmed with that, and we think that we are actually doing a great job. So far as the learning is concerned, we have learned enough. But in reality, we haven't learned much because we have not been able to bring all that knowledge to our life. Our knowledge is different and our being is different. And our doing is completely different. So listening becomes extremely, extremely important. If you really want to learn, if any of us want to learn, this surrender becomes extremely important. This surrender becomes extremely important. And that is why before going forward, in the second shlok only, Arjun surrenders himself to Krishna. Arjun and Krishna, they both had been the friends. They were sakha, they were friends, okay? They were relatives. They played together. And there was no younger or elder kind of a relationship. But when he realized that I'm not talking to Krishna, who's been my friend, today I'm talking to somebody different. So he completely surrenders himself and he says that Karpanya dosh upatsvabhava prachami tvam dharm samur cheta yachra isyat nishitam bruhi tanme shish isteham shadhimam tvam parpannam. With miserable state of mind, he says, I am your disciple. I surrender to you. I have taken refuge in you. Kindly educate me. This is one problem in the life, that we attend lots of programs, we attend lots of trainings, but the problem is that we don't surrender because we think that we already know so much. And when we go to any class with that perspective, then we actually stop learning. Rather, we start becoming judgmental and we start judging the speaker himself. Now, a speaker may have his own limitations. He is also a human being in front of you, but he has got some perspective. And if one wants to make the best use of his time at that point of time, it requires a complete surrender. Completely shut off from all the sides and be focused to what is being said and evaluate, does it make sense to me? Will it make sense to me? And how I am going to implement it in my life. So we need to keep our eyes and ears open. Eyes and ears open, because change is the eternal principle of life. Change is the eternal principle of life. Change doesn't stop. When a child takes birth, when a child takes birth, he starts changing, and he starts changing throughout the life, and he finally dies. You must have almost already seen this. So let me ask you a question here. The question here is that, do you see some change coming to your industry as well? Do you see some change coming to your industry as well? If yes, please answer yes quickly in the chat. Yeah, please. Guys, I would wish that please be open in sharing. Be participating. The more you participate, the more you learn. Great, very nice to hear from all of you. Another thing is, let us understand a little more. You already have seen it. And I'm sure in the business world, you would have seen this also. And there's so many of them. Okay. All these products are no more there. The day a product starts getting, the day a product is coming in the market, actually it starts losing its life. It remains there only for some time because the customer requirements are evolving. The customer needs are changing. And the product, if you don't actually change the product, it will live only a short life, and after that it will go away completely. Something else will take its life. So change is the eternal principle of life. And as corporate leaders, as business leaders, as business owners, we need to be extremely, extremely open to the change which is happening. Only then we will be able to survive and provide the leadership to the company. In the material world, the death is imminent. The death of the product is imminent. The death of an idea is imminent. However, the business is said to be perpetual, but nothing is perpetual in this material world. The death of everything is imminent. If you can only probably lengthen the time period, life probably can be elongated a couple of years, but the death is imminent. That is why you must have seen Krishna says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu, dhruvam jan mritasya cha. Yani ki jiska jan hota hai, something which takes birth, the death is imminent. And something which is dying will reincarnate again, will take birth again. It also says very interestingly, Vasansi jiranani yatha vihai, navani grihnati naro prani. Means that you keep on buying the clothes and keep on retiring the old clothes. When you think that the old cloth has already lived its life, it is no longer in fashion, it is wearing off, so you just give it up and throw it away. And you assume and you buy a new cloth. And your wardrobe actually gets filled up with the new dresses again and again. That is why you will find that all these companies are no longer there. There are new companies have already come in place of all these companies. Okay. How do you find this? Do you think it is interesting, friends? So let's keep your eyes open. So would you like to learn a systematic method of analyzing? Would you like to learn a systematic method of analyzing how your business has been changing during the last few years? If you are interested, please. Great. Yes. Write yes on the chat. Great. Very nice. Very nice. Good to hear from you. Would you like to learn more on how to spot a change coming in your industry? How to spot a change coming in your industry? So type yes quickly on the chat, please. Great, very nice. So we are actually going to give you a program which will help you learn all this. Now we go to the next important problem which you talked about initially, the lack of clarity on the vision of the business, what and why. This is a huge problem. This is a huge problem in the industry. This is a huge problem at the leadership level. When it comes to the business, we actually take it very myopically, and we'll talk about it. So let us first discuss that, are you clear about certain basics? Basics like what kind of business you want to create? What kind of business you want to create? Are you clear about it? What is the purpose of the business? Why are you in the business? So let me just ask you, how many of you think that the purpose of the business is to create wealth? All those people who you think the purpose of the business is to create wealth, just type W on the chat. Just type W on the chat. All those people who think great wealth, 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 wealth. Quickly, quickly. If you don't think about that business purpose is wealth, you can also write whatever you think is the purpose of the business. Very nice. So let's move forward. So unless we have answers to these questions, we are going to be confused. We are going to be perplexed. And we will simply say that I don't know where I'm going, but I am on the way. And there are so many people at the senior positions and the business leaders. They are doing the business, they are doing the job, they are leading the team, but they are not very sure where they are actually going. And we'll learn a little more about it. So, do you think a clear mission and a vision statement will help you grow your business? If your answer is yes, quickly type yes, please. Do you think that a clear mission and clear vision statement will help you grow your business? Type yes quickly. Guys, many of you are not participating. You need to participate. As Ashishji mentioned right in the beginning, it's not a podcast. Great. Let me ask you another question. Do you think that it will be worth investing your time and money for developing a clear vision and mission statement? Do you think it will be worth investing your time and money to develop? All of you who think it will be worth, just type WT, worth. Just type WT, 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 great, WT, 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 worth, WT, WT, great, worth, WT, WT, worth. Very nice, very nice. I'm really pleased that you know the importance of such things very well. I really appreciate you all. Here, Arjun got problem. Why it is important to learn to be clear about the vision mission is that Arjun actually got into a big problem. Arjun saw lots of people who were his friends, whose relatives, father-in-law, the brother-in-law, and so many old friends with whom he had played. And all of a sudden he started thinking that, oh my God, I have to kill all these people. And he got into a very difficult situation and he started worrying about himself. And then he said, Nache shronumi pashyami hatva swajan mahave na kankshe vijayam Krishna nache rajyam sukhani che. He says, oh Krishna, I see no good in killing my kinsman in battle. For as I desire no victory, no kingdom, no pleasure. Now look at this statement, what he is saying. I see no good in killing my kinsman in battle, as I desire no victory, no kingdom, no pleasure. It looks like, friend, as if somebody has just put Arjun into the battlefield, as if he didn't know who is he going to face, as if he didn't know at all that who all are the warriors on the other side, as if he did not prepare for it at all. He is making this kind of a statement. Now Krishna says, my God, Arjun, what are you talking about? You say that I desire no victory, I desire no kingdom, no pleasure. Then what for you are here? So here is a complete lack of vision, the mission. He, for a moment, he actually forgets about that why is he there in this war. And many times in past, when they were preparing this war, Krishna had made it very clear that it is not for simply because you want to win the battle of Hastinapur. No, it is not about Hastinapur. It is about the much bigger reasons. And the reason was to have dharma. There's lots of adharma which has been happening on this earth. So to re-establish dharma, this yuddha is required. So our friend Arjun completely forgets about this. And he just gets perplexed. And he thinks that it is my own battle. So Krishna scolds him. Okay, he scolds him. He says, Kutastva kashmalam idam vishme samupasthitam anaryam justam swargam kirtikar Arjuna. How this infatuation has overtaken you at this odd hour. It will not bring any heaven, any happiness, or any fame, or any good to you. How this has happened with you? Okay. So he is scolding him. Actually, he is trying to give him the direction. He is trying to tell him, look, if you are so unsure about all this at this point of time, people will talk very negative about you. It will not give you any kind of a fame. Even you want to withdraw. He said very clearly that, Arjun said very clearly that I don't want to fight. I want to withdraw. Here's my Gandhi, and I am not in a position to lift my Gandhi. So Krishna says that no, it is not going to give you any fame. So ये कीर्ति को देने वाला नहीं है. How is your acharan, means your behavior at this point of time is so bad. It is overtaken by complete infatuations. So we need to be very clear about the business as well. In the business, we actually get confused multiple times. We get confused the moment we get into some problem. We want to get some order and the order doesn't come. We get confused how to deal with it. There is some employee and he is not performing. He's been there with us for a very long time. And we know inside our heart that he is not performing. He is not contributing to the business at all. But simply because he's been there with us for many years, we find it very difficult to take that decision. We can't throw him away. He is probably having lots of important informations of the business with him. We find it very difficult to at what for the business is. So having a high clarity about the business is very, very important. There is a friend of mine. He's also client. He has the aspiration to take his business public in next 2 years. And he wants to come with the IPO. But at the senior leadership, there are people who have been there in the business for 20 years, for 25 years, and after 20, 25 years spending that much of time, they are not performing at all, and he knows it very well. They are the liability on the business, and he is not able to get rid of this liability. And when you ask him that why is it so, he says, yes, I understand that they are not contributing anything to the business, but and I'll take the decision. But he never take that decision. It is all nothing but the confusion, not clear why I am into this business, not sure why I am doing this business, not sure what kind of business I am wanting to contribute, not sure what is that I want to bring on the marketplace. So let us understand that what actually the business is, and this is what is coming from Gita. So Gita says that a man has got a responsibility, a leader has got a responsibility to serve. So to serve means that to provide the best service, the best product, satisfy the customer's need, deliver as committed, integrity and authority. And he also talks about generate wealth, ever increasing wealth for the self, for the family, for the employees, for the customers, for the society, for the charity, for innovation, for the future investment. So wealth creation is important, but wealth creation is a byproduct, and we have to have this objective very, very clear in our mind when we are designing the business. Also, enjoyment, recreation, celebration, stress-free environment, learning, joy for work, fulfilling the ambition, desires. These things are extremely, extremely important in the business. And it is not only for you, it is about all the stakeholders who are there in the business, the employees, the customers, the vendors. You have to have a very, very joyful work environment. And if you do all this, you are actually going towards the financial freedom, the liberation, the time freedom. Today, the senior employees, the senior leaders and the business leaders themselves, they are stuck. They are not able to go for any vacation, not having any time, freedom. Labor, you have to have labor proof so that you are actually having lots of automation. You have to make sure that you are future proof, competition proof. The business is perpetual, absolutely no worries. And there is a good place for the self-actualization, If you have this kind of a clarity about your business, then the way you deliver business, the way you do business, it will be altogether different. So friends, let me ask you a question. The question is, do you think this wisdom from Gita is awesome? If you think that it is awesome, write AW. Write AW quickly. Right. AW. Yes. Great. I really like that. Your participation. Do you think if you design your business while keeping all the 4 areas in mind, you will be able to create an accountable, performing, and joyful environment in the business? Very important question. Think about it. We just talked about the 4 objectives, 4 purposes of the business. Do you think if you design your business this way, you will be able to create accountable, performing, joyful environment? Right? Yes, quickly on the chat. Quickly, all of you. I really love your participation. Wonderful. Would you like to support and contribute in spreading this great wisdom of Gita? Very important question. If you like this, I'm sure your answer here would be yes. Would you like to support and contribute in spreading this great wisdom of Gita? If your answer is yes, please write yes quickly. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Great, guys. I'm wanting to hear this yes from all of you, all the 26 people who are on the webinar. Great, very nice. Very nice, very nice, very nice. So we are going to talk more about this, but this is the kind of a thing which you get from Gita, which is awesome. Then there is a ongoing stress. The third issue is there is an ongoing stress, and we are unable to control the results because we think that we are actually controlling everything, but actually it is not so. So let me just talk about it. Common wisdom is that we got to be result focused. We got to be result focused. Everybody says so. Why we got to be result focused? Because we think that this entire world is like the puppet in our hands, as if we are controlling everything. But the moment we actually realize that we are controlling everything, we start expecting something which is favorable. We start expecting something which is going to do some good for us. But actually, it is not so. Arjun also was thinking all his life that he is highly in control of his prey. He was a great Dhanushdhari. He was always looking for the results. This is how he was trained. But when the reality came and he saw the people, his own friends, his own relatives standing in front of him, he was completely perplexed. He lost control completely. And he said that Drishtve man swajanan krishna yut son samvasthitan sidanti mam gatrani mukhanche prishashati. Means that looking at these kinsmen arrayed for the battle, my limbs are becoming numb and my mouth is parching. When you think that you are in control, and all of a sudden, when the things go out of control, here he is finding that how will my God, I'll fight with these people? How will I kill them? How will I kill Dronacharya, my guru? How will I kill Bhishma, in whose lap I have been playing? So he sees that things are completely out of control and he gets under tremendous pressure because of that. He says, Nache shaknom vasthatum bhramtiv che me mana nimittani cha pashyami vipritani keshva. Hey Keshav, hey Krishna, I am unable to stand. I can stand no longer. My mind is also whirling. I see omens of evil coming against us. Look at the kind of stress he is living under. Why? Because he wrongly thought that the world is in my control, which actually was not so. So, do you agree that keeping focus on the result? Do you think that keeping things under control will actually create huge stress? Quickly type yes. We are having a wrong notion that we are in control. We are actually not in control of the results. Do you agree that focus on the results distracts us from the process and the quality of work? Whenever we are too much result focused, we want to get the result the way they can come. By good practices, bad practices, we even follow the wrong process completely. We even go unethical in getting the result. And we completely get distracted from the process. So Krishna says something different about it. He tells very, very clearly, Karmanyavadhikaraste ma fleshu kadachana ma karmfal hetur bhu mate sango astu karmani. He says that you have right only on work, but never in the fruits thereof. Be not instrument in making your actions bear fruits, nor let your attachment be in action. So he says very, very clearly that, look, from you only action can get generated. You can only control action. but the results are coming from universe. I'm not saying that the results are coming from kismat, from bhagya. No, he did not use that word at all. He said you don't have that right on the result, because it is being controlled by so many other factors. So don't even think about it that the result will come out. No, but take control, take complete clue of your work, your actions. That only get generated from you. The result only comes, it comes from the universe. So focus on results, focus on work, focus on action. Gita further says that there are 5 different contributors to the result. Adhishthanam tatha karta karancha parthak vidham vividhasya parthak cheshta devanchaivatra panchamam. There is adhishthanam, a basic need of the human being, of the family, of the society, of the customer, which actually governs or controls the action, the quality of your action and the result. If the customer doesn't have the need of a product, you try and sell him, he will still not buy. So need is a very, very important thing. Then a doer, the seller, let us say, somebody who is selling, how competent this person is, how committed this person is, how qualified this person is to sell. So all that depends upon him. Also the resources, whether he has got a proper toolkit or not, whether he has got a proper demo kit or not, okay, whether he is capable of delivering a good machine demonstration or not. So there are lots of resources which are supposed to be there. Then action. Then even if he is equipped with all this, does he take the action? Does he take the action at the right time? Does he take the action which is actually going to contribute to the result in a positive manner? And then finally comes the unforeseen factors. Unforeseen factors. You have done a wonderful job. Okay, you have done a very great market research and everything is in your favor, but all of a sudden the third wave comes and you get into the problem. So unforeseen circumstances. So these are the 5 things which actually finally leads to the result. Finally leads to the result. They are the 5 things which are contributing to the results. That's why he's saying that it comes from the various factors. So control and take action. Take do lots of things which are there in your control. Your work only is in your control. Your process only is in your control. Don't get stressed because you are not getting the result. So here is a question to all of you. After that, I'll stop. Do you think you need to learn more about how to be in control, how to take actions and the process focused and get rid of the stress? Do you think you would like to learn more about it? If yes, just type yes quickly. Great. Yes, yes, yes. I'm listening. Lots of yes. Yes, thank you very much. So I stop here for today. In case you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll be very happy to answer those.
Thank you, Rakesh ji.
It's my pleasure.
Rakesh ji, thank you. I think whatever you were speaking is so very relevant. It covers the modern day scenario where how we work in corporates on a day-to-day basis. And I was making notes, and this is better than any leadership conclave that I have attended. And see, everything is already known in our own culture and heritage and the context. 5,000 साल पहले जो relevant था वही आज भी relevant है. And especially these 5 contributors, I was making notes when I plan my sales with my team. All of this is so relevant and contextual. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed this session.
Oh, great. I'm really happy that you made the notes and you actually noted that point. Those 5 things were, when I was reading it first time, I was really, I mean, like there was an awe
Yeah,
factor
it
within me
blows,
that
it blows
this
you.
was, yeah.
It blows you.
We
Thank
never
you.
thought the things from that perspective actually.
Yeah, and one more thing which really left an impression on me is that sometimes we become so focused on getting the work done that we forget how important the journey is and the process. The main learning happens when we are undergoing the journey or the process. That's
Very
how we grow or evolve, is through the journey. The result is incidental. Similarly, business is incidental. So I agree. Fantastic. Thank you very
Sir.
much. Once again.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Richa. Is there anyone else who would like to share?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I have one question, 2 common questions I'm having. I do not know whether it
Is that Pankaj?
Yes, sir. This is Pankaj.
Can
Yes,
you
sir.
please start your video?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Am I visible to you, sir?
Yeah, Pankaj, please.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sir, am I visible to you, sir?
Yeah, you are visible.
Sir, I have 2 questions. I do not know whether it is relevant to you or to this discussion happened as of now. 2 things that I want to learn, that how to listen. Means if someone is telling, most of the time it happens with me, I always try to put forward my thing. Most of the times I feel that I should say. And what happens that it does not become like, it becomes like one-to-one discussion. And I have studied so many things also, books also, and whenever I just read or any kind of motivational things, I only just come to know that one should listen them. Okay. तो जो अंदर जो चलता है ना सर कि बोलने का तो उसको कैसे स्टॉप कर सकते हैं, पहला चीज. Second thing, I just want to know that how can I detach ourselves from any result, any person, or anything. But just 2 things I just want to cover. I want to work on.
Right. So very good questions. Thank you very much. And very relevant for everybody over here. It is first about the awareness. It is about the mindfulness. It is about being present at that time. When you are speaking to the other person, when you are in conversation, at that point of time, you have to be present to the fact that you need to listen. Actually, we are not present at that moment of time. Rather, we get so engrossed in the conversation. And then our original behavior comes forward. Our subconscious behavior actually comes forward. And the unconscious behavior is the way you are, the way you have been. So if you are aware, if you are, if you know that what is happening, and if you are living at that time in the present moment, then you can make some notes and you can just stop thinking, rather keep listening, start listening. If you are making some notes during that time, at that time, your focus will be more on the listening rather than getting the reply. And if you are making the notes, then these notes will help you in preparing yourself for the future reply also. So it is always advisable that be present, number one. If possible, take notes, and then you start replying later. The number 2 question was about that, how do I detach from the result?
Result as well as person, anything, entity, anything. And third is one more third question. Sorry, I am interrupting. That how can I reduce our expectations? Because what happens that whenever we expect anything from any person, let's assume any person, let's assume that he should call me or he should do this particular thing, and if he does not do that, it leads to a frustration and it leads to anger. And it happens with our work professionals also. Whenever we give any kind of task, and if anything does not happen with our
right. So in today's today's discussion,
yes.
Actually, it is not in the scope of today's discussion. Yes. We will definitely talk about these questions at length, because Gita answers all these questions very, very clearly.
Yes.
And it requires a lots of explanation about the detachment. Gita talks a lot about the detachment. How do you actually get detached? And we are going to even deliver some practices, some practical practices, so that you can start gradually detaching. Detaching is a journey. We have over a period of time, over thousands of years, we have actually learned to get attached with everything. So from that learning which has been going on from thousands of years, to get detached all of a sudden is not possible. But consciously, if we do some practices, then the journey will start, and gradually you will start realizing that you have already reached some significant journey, some significant travel you have already done. And in most of the situations now you are keeping yourself detached. So we'll actually talk about it slightly late in the subsequent classes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rakesh. Thank you, Pankaj, for those questions. Allow me to move forward, and then we will take these questions towards the end of the session. Every success story requires a first step, and I would like to congratulate each one of you for taking the first step today and joining. As Rakesh was saying, that this is the first step to create awareness, but it requires a lot of practice and it requires a lot of hand-holding, and that is the reason we have put together a intensive 4-week program where we'll be taking you through 4 different modules on leadership, and in a very practical manner, how it can be implemented at your workplace is what we're going to talk about. Clarifying the objectives of the business, the purpose, why we exist, vision, lack of clarity. Many people suffer because of lack of clarity for their vision. So, how to have a proper vision, how to have sustainable growth, not like in sports, how to grow the business value in line with the universal laws and to align business strategy with the ecosystem. So this spiritual leadership framework will give us 9 steps for, the concrete roadmap for our destination to consistent growth. Very powerful, step-by-step, concrete roadmap, which Rakesh ji has tested with hundreds of business owners and corporate professionals, and it has helped them produce tangible results. 7 principles of growth. Leadership is all about people. Everything, one of my teachers used to say, Ashish, all good things and bad things in our life happen due to people. So leadership is all about people, how to connect with them, how to inspire them, how to remain unattached, like Pankaj was asking, how to accept diversity. So how to manage people, the insights from Bhagavad Gita, the 7 leadership principles of growth is what we will be sharing in this module, the second module of the program. There are anybody who runs a business or is in the senior positions in corporate knows the multiple challenges that we face at our workplace and in business. So what are the leadership sutras which can help us deal with this different business problems, help us achieve our business targets, get work done from the team, have a work-life balance. One of the things I often hear these days is the distinction between work and life has completely gone because we are working from home. So how to get that balance in, how to align people with you is what this module is going to be talking about. And the last one, which is about authentic leadership, understanding that we are not the doer. This may not be very apparent the first time we hear it, but the benefit of giving up the doership is that we become, very, very powerful. That's the advantage of realizing that we are not the doer, but a conduit for the universal energy. Be limitless. Understand that failure and success are just labels. Every success has in it the seed of failure, and every failure has in it the seeds of success. So what is failure? What is success? And the power of intention, the creative force of this universe, that is what we're going to be talking about. We don't realize how powerful is the power of intention. So this 5 sutras for stress-free growth is what we're going to be talking about. How you can grow and be stress-free and joyful at the same time. A lot of business folks I speak with, they tell me, Ashish, I can only work when I'm stressed. But that's not necessarily a good space to be in, because sooner or later it will lead to burnout. How can you be joyful and keep performing? How to have life and work balance, have a good family life and a professional life, and be productive, all at the same time. This is the powerful principles, time tested, from Bhagavad Gita, which we are going to bring in this course. Each of these courses is worth a lot, and put together, the program cost comes to about 29,990 rupees. But we are giving a bonus, and this program for a limited period is coming to you for a price of 2,999 rupees. These 4 sessions will be delivered via a Zoom call every Thursday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. starting 3rd of February. So this is how the sessions will be delivered. They will be delivered. All the sessions will be recorded, though we will request you to join online live so that you can get benefit from the discussions. But just in case you happen to miss these sessions, the recordings will be accessible to you. You will also become a part of a community where the speakers will be available to you for consultation, for any clarification that you require, and you will have a lifelong access to this community. And one thing I would like to clarify with all of you is that this small fees is being only covered to help us in the mission, to help us carry forward our mission to spread the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and help working professionals lead happy and prosperous life. All the money that we raise through the fees is reinvested in developing this program and promoting these programs so that we can reach out to more and more people. If you would like to join this program, you can make the fees payment by Google Pay or Paytm to this number which is mentioned here. You can take a screenshot and remit the payment. I would at this stage also like to invite 2 people who have already joined us. 2 people who have joined are already a part of this program and have joined us in the session today. I would first like to invite Anjana to share with us what motivated her to go for this program. Anjana, would you please introduce yourself to the group and share your reason for coming on board of this program?
Good evening, Ashish. Good evening, Rakesh.
Good evening.
Thank you for share some of my thoughts and perspectives of working with Rakesh and requesting for his guidance in terms of application of Gita to the leadership via the leadership program. So just a few thoughts. I come from working with banks, insurance, and FMCG, basically in the sales space. And currently I'm a vice president with a large conglomerate, heading sales and marketing. So if I'm, applying what the Gita says and the way things are to be interpreted in a very neutral manner, because sometimes when we hear it or from a religious perspective, the interpretations could be very different. But coming from a thought process and a view where it is spiritual, not religious, and the actual meaning and what was the philosophy behind that, and application of it in conjunction with what I've experienced, a lot of it is actually very relevant. It's not, an old scripture. It is very relevant to today's times. I think just a few minutes ago, Rakesh was mentioning about, when people face a lot of stress, you don't know what to do. You really want to leave the battlefield. I think the situation is very much like what we are facing with the pandemic. From everywhere, you just see negative things. And if you give in to the negative and you bow down and you get scared of it, but not accept it and learn to manage it, this is exactly what was being mentioned. So I think the primary reason is application of the principles and the philosophy of Gita to today's life. And when we have something which is already there, which can guide us, it's best that we seek guidance from there rather than go looking somewhere else. It's always been the Gita and the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, a few scriptures, which has been with us through the years. And they've been, relevant at every time. So it's up to us to apply the learnings and the philosophy. That's the reason. Thank you, Ashish, and thank you, everybody, for giving me this time to share my thoughts.
Thank you, Anjana.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Friends, once you have remitted the payment, please let us know in the chat that you are on board so that we can welcome you to the program. And in the meanwhile, I'd like to invite Grishji to share his thoughts on why he chose to join the program Leadership Gems from Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Because of day-to-day applications, whenever we confuse or our mental blocks are there. So from this program, my expectation is to explore myself, what inner quality into my heart or my mind. So this explore from this program, we can apply on this day-to-day life and grow more with our societies and our corporate fields. This is all, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Girishji. And
Thank you, Grishji.
friends, while we are waiting for you to take a decision, I'll also like to share with you that this initiative was by Mindful Living Community. Some of you are already a part of Mindful Living Community. Some of you are not yet familiar with us. So in case you would like to be a part of our community, please join the link which we have shared in the chat. And every weekend we have sessions on themes related to mindfulness, on application of mindfulness to our daily lives. So please join the community and get regular updates. Thank you, Richa. We welcome you to the Leadership Gems program, to this small community. And we sincerely hope that you will benefit very much from this program.
I'm sure I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richa. So friends, if there are any questions, any comments you would like to make, the floor is open. I would also like to share with you that Rakesh ji is very generously offered to share his book, upcoming book, Jeevan Ke Rang, Bhagavad Gita Ke Sang, to everybody who joins and completes the program. A lot of us have many challenges in the current times, but there are only few who have taken action. So heartiest congratulations to the action takers and those who are yet to take action. If you have any queries, please feel free to connect with me or Ashmita, and we'll be happy to support you in this journey. If you would like to take a screenshot of this and share with your friends who would like to join, please do so. And whether you decide to come on board or not, every action has a consequence. And in my case, my life was like that of King Sisyphus, who every day, who had a curse to roll up the stone up the mountain every day, and by the end of the day he would get it to the top of the mountain, and by the end of the day he would find it that it's rolled back again, and that's how his life went on. And that is how my life was before I discovered. I'm still in the process of learning about Bhagavad Gita, but it was a toil, just working every day and not enjoying, not having a fulfilling life. And once I started learning about Bhagavad Gita, my life has been like a snowball, which starts small, but it keeps gathering momentum and it keeps getting bigger and better as it moves on. So that's the difference. It is entirely your choice whether you would like it to be like King Sisyphus or you would like it to be like snowball. I have been there on both the sides, and I can share with you that being on the snowball side is it's great fun. And you may be familiar with Warren Buffett. He's one of the richest people in the world, and he says the best investment that you can make is investment in yourself, in your own learning. And when you make this investment, friends, it does not only change your life, it changes the life, the destiny of your family also. So today you're not only deciding for yourself, you're deciding your family's future. So please, think about it. Feel free to connect with us and see if you have any challenge. Like I was sharing with you, it is our mission to spread the knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, and we are happy to support anyone with a scholarship should one need it. We understand these are COVID times and many people have, it's been a financially challenging period. So in case you would like to come on board, you can share a mail to Ashmita on this email ID stating the amount of scholarship you would like to request for, and we'll be happy to onboard you in the program. Sharing details once again, and now opening the session up for any Q&A that you may have. Thank you, friends. Rakesh, anything you would like to share as your closing comments? We have 3 minutes remaining.
In the end, I would like to say that Gita, we are going to talk about not only leadership, we are also going to talk about the life. Everyone is leading at least the one person, and that one person is the self. Being leader does not necessarily mean that you have a team or you have a business. Rather, being leader means that you are at least leading your life. And there are principles for the individual. The same principles also are applicable to when you are leading the team. We'll be talking about one very, very important principle of authenticity, which Gita talks about. Now, this authenticity is applicable in our life, the individual's life. But authenticity is equally applicable when you are leading a team or when you are leading a business. Being detachment is another important principle which helps us leading a very happy individual life. At the same time, being detached is very, very important when you are leading a team. So there are going to be lots and lots of such learning which are actually going to come your way when you join this program. And as Ashish ji said, that we are on a mission. We are on a mission of creating a community where people are taking learning from the Indian scriptures. They take a pride by learning from the Indian scriptures. The Indian scriptures have been teaching a lot all over the world. But we people in India are generally stuck with some small, some rituals. We are just stuck with some rituals. The important knowledge, the gyan, we have actually left behind. So in these sessions, we are actually going to talk about what that knowledge is and how that knowledge can be implemented in day-to-day life. You will find that you are extremely enriched after going through this session. My expectation from you is that do join this program, and not only you yourself join this program, also talk about this program to all of your friends and family members and relatives and the business network people so that they can take benefit of it. We are not creating this community, this program for the purpose of generating wealth. It is not a business for us. Rather, it is only a social mission. And we are only wanting to take it forward with that perspective. So that's it. Best of luck to you all. Ashishji, over to you.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Rakesh made one very interesting point about detachment and action. And coming from a healthcare background, I can share a small example that a surgeon never operates on his own family members, because he's attached to the family members. So this is a very small example of how when we are attached, we are not able to perform our actions to be, in a proper objective manner. So thanks for sharing that, Rakeshji, and we welcome Richa, Anjana, Girishji, everybody to our community. And those of you who are watching the recording, the early bird offer is till 30th of January. So in case you're watching this video on or before 30th January, please remit the payment and send us the proof so that we can onboard you to the community and welcome. Have a great day. Happy Republic Day, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.